Happy Flossmas, day 12. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Gerald, Gerald Stitcher. I'm glad you're joining me here for Flossmas this year, 2020. This is the stitching, crafting, knitting channel. Just throwing that out there. If you're new to my channel, welcome. You can find me on Instagram, Gerald Stitcher, ginger.gerald.stitcher. And of course, check out my Etsy store where this month, every single pattern purchased, $1 is being provided to the Philadelphia Zoo to help them support the animals throughout this pandemic crisis. With that, I hope you're all doing well. It is Saturday here, kind of like a gloomy, overcast day, but it's warm. And it's kind of been a lazy stitching day for me, as I expected. I fully expected that today was going to be a relaxing day. I had game night last night, which ran till about 12:30 in the morning, which is well past my bedtime. So I took my time getting up this morning and then got right to crafting. It was a lot of fun having my friends over. And now we're here chatting with you, and it's already 4:30 in the evening. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into what I wanted to talk about with you today. So I figured today, because my Ornamental Joy was, everyone loves seeing my Ornamental Joy again from a couple years ago that I stitched. I figured I would pull out another finish that I did a few years ago, 3 years to be exact, and just showcase it here again to maybe provide you some insights or some creativity or whatnot. So this is one of my absolute favorite finishes. It was one of the very first design that I ever used over dyed flosses, or the specialty floss. It was also the first one I ever did 40 count with. So really exciting. It is Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studio. And the fabric that I chose was a 40 count Autumn Leaves by xJuDesigns, because I stitch practically everything of mine on her fabric. So you can find her on Etsy, xJuDesigns. And here is the finish. And it is unfortunate that I still don't have this one framed. And I really think I need to get moving on getting a frame for this one, because I absolutely love it. I think it would look great in my home. Framed up. And the reason why I wanted to stitch this one so much was the fact that, I live right outside of Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. I love history, but I especially love architecture. And that is a perfectly great rendition of Independence Hall. She did an awesome job designing this one. And so here is my finish. Let me get it. Let's go like this. There we go. Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studio. Again, this is a 40 count 1/2 on Autumn Leaves by xJuDesigns. Why am I struggling today? I don't know why I'm struggling so much today. This is everything is 1/2 except for the words are 1/1 on 40 count. Maybe that'll help. So there we go. Love this one. There are errors in this one, and some designs you can remember where you have the errors, and some you just kind of forget. You know that they're there, but you don't remember where. I specifically remember where every single error is in this one. Not going to point that out to you because I don't think it's noticeable in the finished product. However, there are mistakes. But it's mistakes, but it's also, it makes it creative and unique. So again, I absolutely love this one. I think it looks great on this fabric, and I really, really want to get this framed up in a nice old-fashioned wood frame. So there you go. I hope you like that. I have a few others lined up that I'm going to just pull out here every once in a while throughout the rest of the month to give you some insights on, or not insights, but like to showcase again, because I know so many of you love seeing some of the older finishes from this from the last couple of years. That was finished December 24th, 2017. So 3 years ago. I need to get moving on getting some of this stuff finished and framed. All right, so I did a little bit of knitting this morning, and let me pull out of the bag. This is my a bag from the Knit's Best Thing that was gifted to me a couple years ago when I was in Canada, and so I've been using that for my holiday knitting this year. Again, remember I pulled out another ball of the Vanna White yarn. This is I've worked about half of this up now since I pulled it out yesterday. So hoping to get this finished by the end of, I want to say the weekend, but I don't know if it's going to happen. So here is what we have done so far. You can kind of see where the new thread yarn ball started and then it kept going. It's just pulling differently, which I like. I like that it has uniqueness and difference. There's the back. And again, this is just a fisherman's rib scarf. Very basic design, but I really like that, especially for a scarf, because it gets nice and plump and, you know, it's going to be a nice warm scarf for the winter. This is 100% acrylic yarn that I purchased a few years ago on clearance at Joann's. So I don't know if it's available anymore, but it's a Vanna White, Vanna White yarn. So there is my knitting. Like I said, I'm going to not work on anything else until this one is completely done, because I need to get that done. It's a Christmas gift. Other than that, as much as I would love to start something new, because I have 2 pairs of socks I want to get started. I have a couple other things that I'm now getting in the mood to start. I went on to Ravelry the other day and pulled up a lot of different like textured sock designs that are toe up, because I really like working on toe up socks. So you may be seeing some of that as we go on throughout the rest of the month. All right, so let's go ahead and show you my stitching. Okay, so the first thing that I worked on, like I told you I would, I didn't get any more stitching done last night after I filmed. I did do a little bit of knitting on that scarf, but then my friends came over and it was basically time to play games. So I didn't stitch it all last night. However, this morning after I worked on my scarf for a little bit, I went ahead and pulled out my Queen sampler, Elizabeth I, from Plum Street Samplers. Again, we all know why I'm stitching this one. And if you don't know why, because you're new to my channel, go check out some of my former videos when I showcase my Heaven and Earth design. And here is where I got to today. So not a whole lot of stitching on this one. I basically just completed one strand of floss of the black in the dress. So I basically filled in everything above here with black. So just taking my time. I'm not in any hurry to get this one done. If it gets done before the end of the year, great. It'll be a 2020 finish. If not, I will carry it into 2021 and be happy with that. So worked on this one, like I said last night, that green around the flowers gave me a heck of a time, and I had to pull that out multiple times, but that is where I am on my Queen sampler. This is a 40 count old linen. The color is old linen from xJuDesigns on Etsy. I will try to remember to link that below for you all who may be interested in seeing some of her fabrics. Absolutely love her fabrics. Like I said, I have a handful in my drawer still that I'm ready to stitch on. I'm tempted to order some more, but I don't need to right now. But you never know, because you always want to have that perfect piece of linen for a design. My needle minder on this one is was a gift to me from Stitcherista when I was working on Henry VIII, and Henry VIII or the Crowns of the Kingdom from Rosewood Manor. So she sent me 3 of the wood crown needle minders. So I thought it would be perfect to put on this one here. So that is my Queen Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. Again, my first Plum Street sampler. So I'm really enjoying that one a lot. Finally, I was in the mood to go ahead and start something new again because it's kind of like, why not? Actually, this is going to be a Christmas gift for this year. So this was on my, like I was saying about a couple days ago, I have this pile of stuff that I really want to get started on. So this is a book that was gifted to me, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who gifted this one to me. Nature's Reflection, mainly because of that tree there. It's very bonsai-esque, which I will be stitching in 2021 for myself. I just need to give myself some time to not be stitching on a tree. That being said, I wanted to stitch one of these, which are trees, for a friend for a Christmas gift. So I'm going to make one of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to put the sun on it or not, or if it's just going to be one of these smaller, shorter ones that are just the trees for a bookmark that I'm going to make. This is my first bookmark I've ever made. And so I decided not to follow. This is a pattern from 1998. I'm really enjoying these retro or vintage patterns. I know the 80s is not very vintage, but I really am enjoying like stitching up some of these older designs that are still there's still really good quality designs that still fit into 2020's decor. It's not like I mean, some of these you could tell are definitely like dated, but I really think a lot of these ones, and this one specifically, are they're dated modern, I guess you could say. Again, I'm really looking forward to stitching that one. But this is what I'm working on. I decided instead of using the colors that are called for, as much as I think they're great colors, I wanted to use some of my hand dyeds that I have. So I pulled out some of my color and cottons that I have. And I am doing the main tree up front in the pine needles. Makes sense, pine needles. And then the middle layer of trees are going to be this one here called bronze. And then the last one, or the back, like in the shadow, is chai. So there are the 3 colors that I am going to use for the pattern. So you can see here the front tree will be the dark green. The middle trees, which is this light green, will actually be a brown. And then the back will be the chai. Or I guess it's bronze. And here is my progress so far. So this is a 40 count Verdal even weave that I coffee dyed, and this is just an extra a little bit more that I have that I coffee dyed or coffee dipped. I didn't dye it. I just dipped it in coffee and let it dry. And there is my tree so far. So the first tree, the tree up front is done. You can see there's the tree up front, and there it is finished. So this, as much as I thought was going to be a quick stitch, is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was. I think that one took me about 2 hours to stitch. Again, I'm doing one full X before moving on to the next X. So I'm doing the bottom leg and then the top leg and then moving on. I'm also taking the thread and I'm trying to move all around so it doesn't show lines or stripes or anything like that. So I really want it to be like a natural looking kind of tree. So there we go. My needle minder is one that was gifted to me by Minty Stitcher, a friend I met at the retreats out in the Midwest, in Minnesota. So, okay. I am very happy with how that's turning out so far. I wasn't sure at first with the brown and the green, but I'm really liking the way it looks on the fabric. So I think this is going to look great together. And here is, again, just the threads against the fabric. So I think that's going to look really nice. So that's what I've been working on. I hope you guys are all working on equally as nice and enjoyable pieces as I feel I am. I do have a question for you also. If you stuck around this long, great. I appreciate it. I have a question as far as I'm starting to plan for 2021, which I'm not a big planner, but I am planning a little bit, and that'll be a video down the way. I'm wondering, what do each of you consider as a small design? So I know small, medium, large, it's all subjective and not objective. So I'm just wondering in general, what do you consider as a small cross-stitch design? Is it a certain size? And what are those dimensions? Is it dimensions or is it stitch count? And if you could be specific as far as what you consider like the stitch count of it, or how you determine what a small is. Doing a little bit of research for myself, so I make sure that because I want to make sure I'm considering small the same way. Now, we all know I love to work on massive projects. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section below what you think is a small design. I appreciate your help. I appreciate you coming back every day and watching and enjoying my videos. I love reading the comments. I'm going to try to get to the comments that I missed so far today, this evening. And until we see each other again, I enjoy your stitching. Happy Saturday. Happy 12th day of Flossmas. And as always, don't forget to always be creative.